So from there, we're gonna start today. Again, this is on indexes. As of now, I am just showing you with one table. So once we complete the indexing architecture and the indexing stuff on one table, then I'm gonna show with joins on multiple tables. Because first you have to understand how the indexes are working with single table. So once you are comfortable with single table, then we can go with multiple tables and joins and many things, group by, order by, whatnot. So first you have to understand the basics of single table. Let's move on and let's take our example. Anyone has joined just for today's class, so they might feel a little awkward because we have the setup with us. So we have one table by name employee. So in that we have 80,000 rows. I'll just show you up. And this is how it looks, because without understanding the table, it's not possible to understand the further concepts. So I'm just giving you a glance of it. SP help index. These are the indexes. I'm going to drop a few of them. I just created yesterday. We have only 2 indexes, and I'll show you the data so that you can feel comfortable. Okay. So, and I wanted to show that how the table looks like. Select start from employee. So this is how the data looks. We have 80,000 rows, and this is the data. I have around 11 columns in total in 80,000 rows, and they are filled up in 4,000 pages, leaf level pages of 4,000. This is very important, guys, so that you can understand how the logical reads and how the execution plan is coming to picture. So that's the reason I'm just giving you a glance. So let's move now and let's try to analyze few queries. And I want you to suggest a good index for me based on the data what you are going to see. Okay, so it will be a kind of interactive session rather than me just talking about indexes. Okay, so let's do that and see what happens. So when I'm saying a query like this, and I'm doing a query like this, I'll set the statistics on. I didn't set the actual execution plan. So in this query, what will be the execution plan that I will get for this query? I think today you don't have meetings, right? So hopefully you can
Non-cluster index seek.
non-cluster index seek. Okay, so why I got non-cluster index seek?
Because we have data in both the fields in the non-cluster index, employee ID and SSN number.
Yeah, so when you create a non-cluster index, it will have the information of... Okay. So when you have that non-cluster index on any of the columns, so you will get that information. And if you ask any other information apart from, so you will get cluster index information also. So it is like, if you create non-cluster index, by default, you will get cluster index information along with your non-cluster index information, because that is nothing but your clustering key. So non-cluster indexes will add our clustering keys to the leaf level nodes, to the leaf level pages, so that it will be able to access the data. Very, very, very important, guys. So by default, non-clustered indexes will have the information of cluster indexes as well, cluster indexes column information. So I have cluster index on employee ID. So my non-cluster index is able to fetch the data from from this index itself. I have only one index. SSN. This is the only one index what I have. So this non-cluster index is able to retrieve the data using that index. And even though I'm asking employee ID, it is not going to the base table because non-cluster index holds the information of cluster index as well. So I have the cluster index on employee ID, as you can see. Okay, now if I say something like this, it's just a recap of what we did on Thursday. So what will I get here? Same query, just I'm saying star.
Can look up.
Obviously, since I don't have the information of all other columns, I have to go to the base table and get the data. So I'm getting seek and lookup here. So lookup is nothing but you have to go to the base table, see that table, read the data and get that information. So when you are doing lookups and when you are going to the base table is nothing but key lookup. This is the base table. This uh, looking pattern is called as random IOs. So as you can see here, I have number of rows read, it is 12, right? So those 12 rows, whatever that are being read, those are random IOs. Those are not sequential. So when you are going with key lookups, and if your data is less, it's okay to have key lookups. But once it goes beyond the selectivity, I mean, certain limitation that is called a tipping point, it will go for scan automatically. But I'm just giving an information. The key lookups, whatever it is doing, those IOs are called as random IOs. Random IOs are very costly compared to sequential IOs. Remember that point. So in any of the interviews, if you're appearing for interviews, uh, guys, if you're not talking, can you mute yourself? Yeah. If you're appearing for interviews and if someone is asking whether key lookups are good or bad, what will be your answer? So what I am saying is key lookups might be good, might be bad. It depends upon the rows you are getting. It depends upon the selectivity of the query. But the fact that you have to talk is it's something called as tipping point. That is one thing that impress the interviewer. And one more thing, it's called as random IOs. All the key lookups, what that are happening, those are random IOs. Those are bit costly than sequential IOs. Just remember these 2 points. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so now let's change the query and let's do something like this. I will take the other one. Any questions here for the people who have attended just today?
No, we are getting it.
Okay, so in my last class, I got a question like cluster index is different from the table. Is that true or not true? I mean to say, for example, when I said SP space used employee, right? So I
Yeah,
have the data and I have the index size, right? What is this index size? Is it a combination of clustered and non-clustered, or is it only non-clustered?
it is combination of cluster and non-cluster.
No, this is
Okay.
non-clustered.
No, only non-cluster.
So remember that, guys, this is a very simple funda, but still many of the people will say completely wrong. It's completely wrong. It's just non-cluster index size. Okay. When you're throwing SP space used, it is giving you the sizes of non-cluster index. Clustered index is nothing but our data. It's the main table. Table itself is cluster index. There is no separate thing called as cluster index deviating from the table. When you create the cluster index on one of the columns, so it is arranging the data based on that column. That's it. It is not a separate thing. Cluster index scan is nothing but table scan. Again, I'm saying clustered index scan is nothing but table scan. There is no difference at all. Cluster index, we have one column, so data is sorted, but whereas in table scan, it is a heap, so data is not sorted. That's the only difference. But if someone asks you what is this index size when I throw SP space used, don't say it is a combination of cluster and non-clustered. This is clustered, this is non-clustered. Very simple.
Okay.
In
Yeah,
this case, actually, you go ahead. Can you go ahead? Expand space used?
yeah.
Yeah. So what is this reserved and data then? Data, you said it as clustered and data, am I right?
Reserved is something like a combination of data and index size. If you sum them up, so you'll get this reserved space. This one
Yes.
is like it's summing up, and there will be some extra pages that gets added. So it is almost, it gets closer to this size. There are few differences, maybe unused also. I think this combination of these three reserved.
Thanks, Om.
Yeah. So now,
One question.
yeah.
When we say that the cluster index is same as our base table, so what about the intermediate pages and the root pages? There must be some memory which is required for storing them, right?
So even for holding the pages, the heap table, how the pages will be saved, it will be in a sequential order, right? I've shown you the pages, how it looks, where the heap table and for the cluster index, if you remember, Swapnil, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So whether it doesn't matter whether you see, I have page numbers, that's it. I don't have any other stuff. It's all about page numbers. So for every records, you will have certain page numbers, right? So when I'm accessing the data, those pages will be pulled from disk to buffer cache. Whether it is sequential or whether we have indexes, doesn't matter. So it's all about pages. Get those pages, whatever what I'm requesting, and put them into buffer cache. That is what our engine does.
Thank you.
I mean, the concept remains the same. Whether you are pulling, the way you are pulling differs. So if you want too much internals of it, definitely I can give you the best with the best examples. I know how the data will be pulled from heap tables and cluster tables and how it looks. So
No, my
yeah.
question just was that because we see that for non-cluster index, we see 1728 KBs size is showing there.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we have cluster index.
Yeah.
So what is that 1752 is allocated for? It is allocated for the pages like intermediate pages and
Yeah,
all
we
those
have 208 pages for non-cluster index, right? If you remember.
So same thing. What about the clustering key where we have intermediate pages, right?
Yeah, it will hold some memory for it.
Yeah, that's
Will.
what. That's what.
Yeah, it will.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm doing a small query here. So I'm saying select employee ID SSN from table name where employee ID less than 1000. So what will be the output of this? Any guess? This one. What will be the execution plan for this?
Indexing.
Scan.
I want I mean, whether it is clustered index seek or non-clustered index seek, something like that. I want the terms very correctly.
Non-cluster index seek.
Non-clustered index seek. Why you think it's non-clustered index seek?
It will be non-cluster index scan as well.
Okay, let's check the
Vamsi,
execution plan. Yeah.
He said
uh,
it will be
Vamsi,
cluster
you
index
said,
scan.
yeah, because employee ID, you said that actually cluster index, right?
Actually, it should go for, like, see, since the employee ID is the primary key, it should go for the
It
cluster.
is not reaching tipping. It is not reaching tipping point, right? Like
Yeah,
out of
let's
80,000.
see.
Yeah.
So I'm getting clustered index seek.
Seek, yes.
Why I am not getting non-clustered index seek or non-clustered index scan, or why it is not using non-clustered index here?
Because you are not using the column,
Yes.
like you are using the
So,
primary key column actually.
I am not employing SSN here. I am employing in the where class predicate. I'm using employee ID. So I don't have any index on employee ID. So it is the cluster index what I have. So it is using clustered. And since I'm just retrieving 1000 rows out of the 80,000, it is going for seek. Okay. So now the same query, and now I'm saying 10,000 rows. So what will be the output now? Am I lost?
I think it will be scanned. It will go for tipping point now.
Okay, it will go for tipping point. Definitely it goes beyond 80,000. Out of 80,000, I am pulling 10,000 rows. So that means it is greater than 1/3 or 1/4 ratio what we discussed, right? So what will I get? Will I get cluster index scan or cluster index seek? What will be the output? Scan or seek? Clustered index scan or cluster index seek?
Scan. Clustered
Scan.
index scan.
Now see the funny part of it. Okay, so I'm getting the result. So as you said, cluster index scan, and it's now going with cluster index seek, and still it is thinking that it is less than what it is assuming. Okay, like out of 80,000 rows, it is still thinking that it's easy to go with cluster index seek. It's not going for cluster index scan. We are able to seek now. Let's do it a bit on a wider scale. Let's say, for example, 70,000 I'm doing. So now in this case,
Definitely seek, scan.
Cluster index scan.
okay, let's do this. Why I got non-cluster index scan here, not even clustered index seek or cluster index scan? This is what internals of indexing. If you know this for one table, then you can do it with multiple tables. So you have to understand the concepts for one table. So you have to be very cautious with your data. Once you know the data, then only you will be able to answer these questions. Otherwise, it is not that easy. Why I got index scan instead of cluster index seek or clustered index scan, whatever it is. I'm not getting clustered at all. I'm getting non-cluster index scan. Why I'm getting non-cluster index scan here? Anyone who knows this?
It is just easy to pull these two fields from the non-cluster index.
Yes. So
Because we are
non-cluster
retrieving-
index. Yeah, you are right, Sai. So I have only two columns with me. That is employee ID and SSN inside my non-cluster index. And I'm saying almost, I'm trying to pull almost the entire data. So instead of reading the cluster index, I will show you now. Just see this. The logical reads are 210 because 208 level leaf level pages are there in my non-cluster index and one root level page and one IAM page. So total, I got 210 pages. And if I do the same thing, with cluster index, I'm forcing index into here. I am asking SQL Server to go with cluster index here. So index equal to 1 means try to make use of my cluster index. So if I do this, check the comparison. So I got the execution plan. So with non-cluster index scan, I got 8%. Whereas if it goes with cluster index seek, it is going with 92% as the cost. And if you see the logical rates, one is 210, the other one is 3,508. That's the reason SQL Server avoided reading the clustered and it went with non-clustered, because non-clustered index is very cheaper because I just need to read 210 pages instead of 3,508 pages. That's the concept. Got it? Questions here? So I hope you will be able to answer these questions. So if someone says seek is always better, like this in this case, so we got the seek right for the execution plan. So do you think seek is better all the time? Not at all. Don't say seek is best or scan is best. It depends upon the query. It depends upon the predicate. It depends upon the selectivity. It depends upon the tipping point. There are so many depends. So you have to tell completely to the interviewer so that they will understand that you guys are good enough with all the internals of indexes. Very simple thing, but still most of us will go wrong here because of the representation of data. Okay.
Vamsi, one question. Why it didn't go for a tipping point and a scan? Why it has gone for seek?
Which one? This one?
Yes, 70,000. Yes.
Yeah, see, when you go with clustered here, when you employ the clustered, when you say some predicate, whether it is between or less than, greater than, in, equal to, whatever it is, it will always go with cluster index seek only. There is no point of it doesn't matter here because there is the concept of tipping points will not come into picture for this case.
Sir, can you please show your non-cluster index once?
My non-cluster index, yeah. You wanted to see how it
Yeah, definition.
definition of it? Okay. I will install Blitz index so that it will be easy for you to understand. I think most of you might use Blitz index, right? This is how it looks. This is how it looks. I think some Jaiswal or someone was asking me. So this is the index definition. I have only one column for cluster index. It is employee ID. I have one more column on SSN. I have non-cluster index on this SSN column. Okay, I have only one index, leaving out the cluster index because cluster index itself is a table.
Vamsi, if there is no cluster index, then the non-cluster index will go for this row ID lookup, right?
Yes,
and then
it's row ID lookup. Yeah.
will go for seek or it will go for scan?
Which one? For which criteria? These two queries
First one,
are
the first one. The
first
first
one.
one. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's say for example, let me check employee heap. I think I deleted that table. Let me check that. It's there. Okay, it's there. How about indexes? Okay, I don't have any clustered on this
Okay.
table. It's a heap table. So let me check the condition here. So employee heap. So what do you think? What will be the output of this for the heap table? Same query.
It should be scan.
Let's see that. Obviously, it will be scan because I don't have cluster index on employee ID. So I have to read the table. And since I am fetching so many rows out of the table, it will go with table scan. Even if I fetch fewer rows also, doesn't matter. I don't have index, right? So what will be the output of this here? See this? It will always be table scan, doesn't matter. If I say employee ID equal to 1000, then
It should be seek.
okay,
No, no.
see, will I
No,
get
no.
seek?
No, no, no.
Doesn't matter.
Scan.
Yeah, it's
Employee ID,
always
there is
scan.
no-
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Even if you pull one row, even if it is highly selective query, this doesn't work because it's a heap table. So obviously it will be table scan. All the time it will be table scan. Unless you are pulling SSN, something from SSN, it remains the same, table scan. Let's move on and let's try to see something else now. And imagine, okay, let's move on. So will you say seek better or scan better?
Based on the data we are fetching, right?
Yeah, so don't say seek is better, scan is better. Don't say something like this. I know people will say seek is much better than scan. That is absolutely wrong, rubbish. Okay, so let's, for example,
So in that case, we need to check for the logical rates and the time it is spent on the CPU, right?
yeah, you have to check the data. What is the data what you have, and you have to check the logical rates also simultaneously, and the execution plan finally.
Mhm.
Okay, now imagine I have a
Vanki,
query.
is there any baseline for that one? When,
uh,
when we can say that index is good or seek or scan?
so
Is
as
there
that
any baseline?
there is no such base, but I will try to show you up in the final phase, like something called as index consolidation. So I'll talk about that. Okay, so now imagine I have these kind of queries where from the application, most of the queries are hitting like this. So it is saying employee ID. So they are searching most of them on employee ID. Imagine. So I'm getting queries like this from application end. So now as a DBA, with the current indexes, what you have, like employee, no, sorry, not employee heap, employee. Two indexes, right? I have two indexes. Of course, I should say one index because I will never consider cluster index as an index because it itself is a table. So I have queries like this. So will you say that I have to create one more index, or is it okay to go with the indexes what we have? Can you suggest me the best index for this query? So that should be the right question.
I think we already have cluster index, so employee ID is there in that, and
Okay.
SSN we have, so we don't need any more index, I think.
Yeah. So if I execute this query, first time I got for 10,000, less than 10,000, I'm getting cluster index seek. For less than 1,000, I'm getting cluster index seek, and for less than 80,000, I'm getting index scan. So my execution plan is getting changed based on the data, right? Obviously, as you can see, and also the reads. First time it is going with 503 reads. Next time it is 53, and next time it is 210. Just remember this. So if the queries are coming like this from application end, and with the current stuff what we have, like employee ID, cluster index, and SSN non-clustered, so is it okay to go further? I mean, is it okay to leave as is, or should I create one more index? So what will be the order of indexing for my non-clustered? So it will be SSN first column, the leading column. It's called as leading column for the indexes. Very, very, very important topic. Leading column for indexes matters most. So for my non-clustered index, what is the leading column? Leading column is SSN. Okay, and then the child column, of course, cluster index will get appended automatically, but still the next column is employee ID, my cluster index. So this is how the data is placed, and we have seen how the data is laid out also. So do you think it's okay to go with the existing setup or any one extra index that you can think of?
Yeah, we can
You can
use
create
of like
non-cluster index on SSN.
I have that
SSN,
non-cluster
along
index,
with
right?
employee ID.
I think we can create, like the non-clustered index, include the employee ID. That should be better.
Include the employee ID. Okay, I will take that. Next. This is a interactive session, guys. If you open up, you'll get a lot of knowledge. These are basics again. Someone said include something, so I will do like this. IX SSN include employee ID. Okay, and so what should be the column? Leading column. I mean, you tell me. You said included something, right? Okay, tell me that. How to create?
Yeah, so it should be, like the leading column should be SSN.
Okay. Create index name on table name. Okay,
on table
employee.
name.
Okay, now what should be the column here?
Column here should be, like SSN, and the
Okay.
include. Okay. Include should be for the employee ID.
Employee ID. So is Balaji, right? So Balaji, if you
Yeah,
don't mind, what's your total experience?
We can say, like a 4 to 5.
Okay, fine. So Balaji is suggesting this index. So anyone with other indexes, recommendation, index recommendation?
Employee ID not in include, but means leading one is SSN and then employee ID.
Leading one is SSN. I didn't get you. Can you come again?
Yeah, on employee SSN, comma employee ID.
Okay. That is okay. You are saying that part. Okay, I got you.
Non-cluster
So
index. Yeah.
employee ID. This is not include way of creating. Okay. And you are saying remove this stuff and just pass on something like this. Okay, like this, right? This is what you want.
Yes.
Santosh, yeah. So any other index recommendations for these 3 queries? Are we done? This is the index tuning what you are suggesting for me. All the DBS out there. So I got 2 index suggestions. Any other index suggestions that you can think of?
Hello, I think the second index you have should be the exchange the column name like employee ID column SSN, because in the selection criteria we have choose the employee ID comma SSN, right? So I think the second index places should be changed.
Okay, so it is Santosh's recommendation. This is I think Balaji's recommendation. Anil, right? Can I say Anil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
Anil is saying something like this now. Create, I will say employee ID and then SSN. This is Anil's recommendation. Okay. Any other recommendations? Are we done?
I think Vamsi, we need to create a filter index. The condition should be if the row is like more than like 50,000, 60,000, then the index should go for that index. Otherwise, I think we already have the two index.
We'll talk about filtered next. I don't think filtered is a good criteria here. Of course, we can think about filtered, but one very important thing is my question: can we create filtered indexes on clustered index? Can we create filter indexes on cluster index columns?
No.
Okay, I'll keep that question aside. I will talk about filter indexes a lot. Just hold your nose. So these are the recommendations. Balaji is saying something like this, and Santosh has suggested this. And sorry, this is Anil. Anil has suggested this. So out of these 3 indexes, which index will be the better one? By looking at this, can you say which index will be the best one according to these 3 recommendations given by our team? Whether it is Balaji's or Santosh or Anil's. So obviously the best index here is Anil's one. Okay. Why? Because here we are pulling the information from employee ID. Okay, employee ID is the leading column here on in the where class, in the predicate. So this is called as predicate in the where class. So I'm using employee ID. Employee ID is a predicate. So when you are employing, when you are fetching the data from employee ID on that predicate, so the leading, if you create the index on that leading column, definitely you'll get the better performance. Actually, we don't need to create any index, but still, if your queries are something like this, if your queries are something like this from application, definitely, even though I have, see these 2 indexes, why I'm rejecting these 2 indexes? Because already this is what the index what I have, even though I have not created index here on employee ID, by default, by nature, SQL Server will add employee ID to our non-cluster index. So you don't need to create this index. Absolutely no need. Whereas this index will be helpful because it's a separate index where I'm going to create employee ID as the leading column. That's why I said leading column plays a major role in index tuning. Leading column plays a critical role. So in my queries, whatever what I have, my leading column is on employee ID. I mean, I'm getting the predicates on employee ID. So it should be the leading column, and then my SSN should be the next column. Okay, whereas this query suggested by Balaji, it's again the same story. You are saying SSN as the leading column and you are including employee ID. So what is the difference between these 2 indexes? Anyone who knows this? Again, this is a basic question. Yeah.
For the include one, the one that has include, you can, I mean, you should, it is preferable to use include only if that particular column is not in the where clause or join
Yeah,
clause or group by
include
clause.
when we use include, okay, when you are passing the that is our next demo. So when you are saying select city, phone number, last number, something like that, then you can include all those columns inside this include class. Not this, but in our query, employee is the one on which we are fetching the data, so definitely it should not be in include class. And anyone knows the difference between these 2 indexes? Are they both same, or will there be any difference here?
No, it's different.
Again, this is very small interview question that I used to ask a lot. If someone says it rightly, then definitely that guy knows about indexing. I can clearly say.
One is included and one is covering something.
Yeah, that this is included index, this is covering index. What is the difference between them?
When you hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you
Lenovo.
include the employee ID,
Huh?
so that employee ID columns will be there in the leaf node as well.
Okay. Leaf node will even this index will also have employee ID in the leaf node. Definitely it will have.
I think the first index in if in the select columns the SSN and employee IDs are coming, then first index will be useful, and
No, I'm asking about differences between. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the second, if we, I think in the where clause SSN and employee ID will be there, then second index will be useful.
No, you got Anil, you just got sidelined. My question is, what is the difference between included index and covering index?
So in the second index,
I think while creating covering indexes, we include that column, right?
Okay, I will tell you that difference now. I will show you practically instead of saying theoretically. Let's now create. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, actually, I think for covering index, if we have where if we in our query we have in where clause the cluster index column, so that includes in covering index only.
Not really. I mean, there is a huge difference. I will talk about that difference. Okay, now let's go and create Anil's suggestion. He's saying employee ID should be leading column. Of course, I told you the reason. So it should be, this is the right query. So if I create this index now, Okay, and now if I try to run this, I will take one more session. Set statistics IO on and turn on the execution plan. Okay, and now run this. So let's see what will be the output of them. So what do you think the output of execution plans? Will it be something like this, like seek, and non-cluster index scan, or will it be different? What do you think so?
It should be seek, and seek.
Okay, let's check that. So it is seek. All the time it is seek only. And if you see the logical rates, it has 28, 5, and 210. So obviously my index, what I have created, okay, this index, so it is working fine for all the conditions. Whatever the conditions what I am passing, it doesn't matter. It will make use of that index first. And the logical rates have come down drastically because we have to read maximum of 210 logical rates only, because my non-cluster index, of course you people have joined for this class only. For the people who attended my previous classes, they know from where I got this 210 rates, right? So I have 208 leaf level pages for that non-cluster index, one root page, and one IAM page. So total 210. So maximum is 210. So whatever the condition what I'm writing here, whatever the employee ID, so it will always be index seek only. It will remains the same. So this is the best index that we can create for these kind of queries. Again, I'm saying my index tuning and query tuning will differ a lot. It depends upon the queries what I'm getting. It depends upon the the criteria what you are saying. I mean the filtering conditions and the select columns and the predicate columns. Of course, we are leaving out the parallelism here. If we include parallelism, then again the situation goes more complicated. But here we are just talking about single table. Okay, so my right index is one that is suggested by Anil. So clear now, or any questions? I'll talk about the differences between the first two indexes. Okay, I hope silence means you are clear. Let's move on. So I asked this question: what is the difference between included and covering index? So this is included index. This is covering index. So both serves the same purpose. There is no difference, but there is one small difference between these two. That difference is nothing but these columns will get appended to root level pages and intermediate level pages as well. Whereas this one, when I say included columns, I have information of SSN in my root, in my intermediate pages, but employee ID, whatever the columns that are there inside this include column, that will be there only in only in leaf level pages, but not in the intermediate pages or root pages. That is the difference. Did you get me, or you want me to show practically this stuff, what I'm saying?
Can you repeat it or show it in practical?
Okay, what I'm saying is in included columns, included index, okay, the leaf level pages would hold SSN and employee ID. Okay, but the intermediate pages or the root page will hold information of SSN only. It doesn't contain information of employee ID. So these columns, what I'm writing inside this include column, keyword, it will not pop up to the top. It will be there only in our leaf level pages. Whereas this one here, in this case, the employee ID will be there in my root page, in my intermediate page, and at the leaf level pages. That is the difference. So if you check the sizes of these two indexes, definitely included columns would be slightly less when compared to this one. That is the answer what I'm expecting. That if you know the index internals, then you will be able to answer this. Otherwise, it's not possible. You want me to show this practically, the sizes and all? Let's do this. Let's create two indexes. I think I commented it right. Okay. SSN include employee ID. Okay. Okay, we created two indexes now, and let's check the index size. I will write the query. I'll use the query rather than writing it. Questions here, guys? If everyone is silent, then I will not be able to understand. So please do talk.
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
will, even when we create a cluster index also, it will store in the intermediate level.
Cluster index is stable, so you don't need to worry about that.
Okay, I heard like when we create a padding index, no, it will create a data, it will store the data in the root level and intermediate
Pad
level.
index
On the
is completely
level.
different. Pad index is nothing but that is the fill factor thing. Okay, let me grab this query so that it will be useful. I will grab this also. Now check this part. You'll come to know what I'm saying.
So Vamsi, in this scenario, in this query actually, so second, the covering index, so definitely logical IO will be the high, right? For rather than first one, include index.
I will talk about reads for a second. I will just show you sorry, practically how it looks. 1 second, give me 1 second, guys. Object ID is employee, index ID. I need indexes ID, so I have to write this now. Sys dot indexes si inner join sys dot objects so on si dot what is the same column? Object ID, right? Object ID equal to so dot object ID, and this will be index name, index ID. What is the table name? Where so dot name equal to employee. Okay, so my index is employee ix employee ID SSN. One is index ID 4 and the other one is index ID 8. Let's grab this index ID 4. Oh, not this one. So I have to drop this one ix employee ID SSN. So not this one then. So this index is 5 and this index is 8. 5 and 8. Okay. So it will be 5 and this will be 8. Okay, let's run this. Let's run the first one. Okay, and let's run the other one also. We'll run simultaneously. Did I grab the right indexes? 1922 root level page. Okay, I said 20 level 0 19. Okay. IX SSN include employee ID. Okay, and then IX SSN employee ID. Here actually the root level, and if I root level means index ID this one. Okay, 208 pages, whatever what I'm showing. So it will be slightly of more length, guys. So I have to check that part. I think I am right only, but still I'm not able to show it practically. I think I have given 8 here. Is that the right number or IX SSN employee ID? That's right. But here it will get changed, guys. So I will show you. I will just give me some time. I will showcase that again. I will move on. But what I'm trying to say is there is a difference here. There is a difference. That difference is nothing but the size of the index will vary here in for the included columns, because in included columns again I'm repeating, this columns whatever what I'm writing here, it will not be there in our intermediate pages or root pages. Just keep that in our mind. That is very important. So that is the difference between covering index and included columns. Okay, I understood you are not able to catch this up because I'm not giving you clarity on this. I will try to show that.
Yeah, Chiranjeev. What you said is we can understand, but we can create covering index when we create a cluster index, right? We know that the column is needed so that we can create a covering index. After investigating, we noticed that this column also needed in the index, so that's where we are using included column, right? During development team, we were doing some investigation and we found that the column was not included, and we have to include this column to improve the performance.
Yeah.
So we have added that column as an included index. It was there in the leaf node, right?
Yes, it's there in the leaf node only.
So how to make that into the intermediate level? If you make that in data in the intermediate, if it is more accurate, right? We can decrease the number of pages.
No, actually that is not the case. If so by architecture, by design, if I say included columns, then SQL Server will not add this information into intermediate pages or root pages. If you want that into your root pages or intermediate pages, this is what we should do. This is general index. I mean, this is not, it's a covering index, but a general non-cluster index. Nothing difference here, nothing much difference. But unfortunately, why I am getting the same result is what amuses me. Let me check again. This guy is, I'm getting confused with Anil's index. I will drop that index first, and then I will see. Drop index, because it's clearly that there will be difference in size. I will drop this first.
So this annual index is also a covering index, right?
Which one?
It's a,
the annual index is also a
also covering
index.
index. Yeah. Okay, 5, 8, 5, 8. I have given the same numbers, right? 5, 8. Let me check the table object database ID, object ID, employee. Okay, index ID. Okay, null detail. 5 null detail. So what is the output? 19, 19, 22, 22. Somewhere something is wrong. Maybe I might be wrong somewhere, but what I said is absolutely right. I have to show it to you practically. I will check this later, because I didn't come up with a demo on this. So I have to check this part. Okay, let's move on. So how many of you are aware of filter indexes? Filtered. When should I use filter indexes? From when I got this filter indexes, from which version, or like when they introduced filter indexes, first of all? Hello?
Yes.
no, yeah, filter index we can use when we have a huge number of records.
Huge number of records. What does it mean?
Like
we can use in non-cluster index and the specific condition.
What is filtered actually? How it is differing from our regular indexes?
Yeah, I think we can talk in condition.
Yeah. Specific condition we can apply.
Specific condition. Okay, so okay, I will talk
And,
about
you can see,
go ahead.
when we are applying the specific condition on the cluster index, so that will be you can say that actually, suppose as someone saying that it's a large number of rows or large number of tables. So when we are applying the specific condition, then that will be the subset. So it will create a subset, and that will be give us a faster performance.
Okay, so it depends upon, say for example, for insurance based companies or some other thing. So we have a column, something called as status, right? Imagine, just imagination. So we have status 1, status 2, status 3, something like that. So we have the data. If you want to filter the data only on particular status, then I can think about that column with some specific criteria, specific condition. Then I can create that index, right? That is filter index. I think it is there from 2008. So how many of you made use of filter indexes till now? Have you ever suggested filter indexes in your environment?
Yeah, actually, I have used it.
Okay, so you know about filter indexes, right? Someone said, I know. Who is that? I wanted to know that person. It's okay. I'm not, I'm just giving you, I'm just sharing my knowledge, guys. Doesn't mean that I know everything. We are just interacting our knowledge. That's it. We are sharing our knowledge. So please, I wanted to know who said that you have created the filter index.
Yeah, this is Mahesh here.
Yeah,
so
Mahesh.
like, yeah, I used to sit with the development team.
Okay.
So actually, when I use this is like, for example, there is a query for every second, 4 to 5 seconds, 4 to 5 times the query will be hit. For example,
okay,
a single query, but in a second, 4 to 5 times it will hit the database. So this is my scenario. So like they have configured a lot of services. Through the services, they'll be hitting this. So I tried many options, like I tried many indexes, but I couldn't improve the performance. So then like I use this thing like because like in a particular thing they want to pass some where condition, and like we pass this, and I implemented, then the performance got improved. Even like the hit was very huge. So it helped me actually.
Okay, so I will talk about filter index. Just before moving to filter indexes, one more index tuning we'll talk, and then we'll jump on to filter indexes. And there is one huge thing with filter indexes. That is what I would like to show in today's demo. So before going to that filter indexes, so if I'm getting queries like this, then what should be the ideal index for this? Okay, let me show this here. I will get the execution plan. Hey, come on. The query is like this. So I'm back now. We are back with two indexes. What we have, SSN and clustered index. That's it, nothing else. This is the query. So can you tell me what is the best index for these kind of queries? So they are saying some range here, some S to Z. So all the names from S to Z will appear for my last name here. Okay, they are using queries like this from application end. So as a DBA, can you recommend a best index for this query?
Unable to see your screen actually.
Oh, is it the same?
Everyone?
No, we are able to see.
Okay, thank God.
So we can't index here because filtered index doesn't work with like operators.
No, we are not talking about filtered here. We are just talking about the regular indexes. Can you suggest me the best index for this query?
Non-cluster index.
Okay, I want the entire definition. Like create index. What should be in my included columns, or should I create included index or covering index? What is the ideal index for this? Can you tell me? I will write the definition and you tell me. Create index. I'm ready with the index definition. Tell me. This is our query. You have to improve the performance. As you can see here, as of now, I'm getting 4009 logical rates, which is not at all good. It is going with scan only. It is scanning the entire table. I don't want that to happen. And I wanted to get the best results for this query. I'm a developer and you are the DBS. Tell me the definition for the covering index. Create index, index name on table name. I'm ready to write that. What should be here?
Last name and middle.
Last name.
Okay, first leading. What should be the leading column first of all?
Last name.
Last name will be the leading column.
Okay, and then is it enough to have last name, or you want me to include any other stuff?
Yes. Yeah, we can include all first name, middle name, and phone number in the include.
Okay, last name, first name, and
No,
then
not here. So just
okay,
covering
included.
index.
Okay,
Yeah,
include. Okay, and you are saying include the first name.
First name.
Okay.
Middle initial and
yeah. So again, a question in the included condition, what we are doing here, is the order plays an important role, or can I write anything like first name, phone, middle initial, or something like that, or middle initial, first name, phone, whatever it is? So will the order matters
Order,
here?
please. Yes.
I think order matters here.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Let's check that. So this
okay.
index is ix underscore last name is the leading column, last name underscore, and then include what I'm including, first name underscore, middle initial underscore, phone number. So this is my index. So you want me to employ this index? Okay, I will create this. And now I asked a question like whether the order matters inside include column. So if I write something like this, say for example, I will go in the reverse order, phone, middle initial, first name. Cut this. Phone, middle initial, and then first name. How to have that naming convention, otherwise it is difficult to identify. Phone, middle initial, and then first name. Let's check this. I will create these two indexes. First, I will create the first index, what you are saying. Okay, got it. And now I'm running that query. Previously, it was cluster index scan with 4009 reads. Now, let's check the execution plan. And I got index seek now. And if I go to the logical reads, I'm getting 250 logical reads, right? So this is the execution plan, index seek and 250 logical reads. So I will disable this index, alter index name on table name disable. So that I wanted to check the other index, the order disable. Okay, let's now create this index. Okay, and 250, right? It was 250 and index seek 259. What was the number?
Right, 250 or 240 something.
258 or something. So if I see, I'm still getting index seek and it is on last name. If I place my cursor, it is saying it is using the index last name include phone middle initial first name, like this one. Okay, it is using this index, and when I check the logical it's 250 again. So imagine I enable this index. There is no is there any command like enable index? If I disable
We
the
can do
index,
alter rebuild. We can rebuild the index.
yeah, this
To
is
enable.
another interview question. There is no command like enable. Okay, there is only rebuild. If you disable the index, the only option is rebuild the index. That's it. Okay, now both the indexes are in place. Let's check which index will it make use of. So it is making use of include first name, middle, phone. Okay, it is using the first index. Okay, but doesn't mean that this is the right index. And also just to let you know, guys, order inside the include columns doesn't matter. Just for information, order is required only for the leading columns, but not for the columns inside the include. Because we have seen, even if I have written this index, I mean, even if I have only this index, that logical reads was 250 and it went with index seek. There was no change at all whatsoever. Okay, so doesn't matter. Just I'm giving an example. Okay, and then how about creating index like this? Like create index name on all the columns, like employee last name, first name, middle initial, phone. Instead of writing like this, I am creating an index like this. So will it work? Will it give me index seek? People, are you there with me? This index.
Last name is a leading column.
Yeah, leading column is last name. Okay, and then first name, middle initial, and phone. So this is how it is written. Looks good for
Yeah,
me.
it will give index sequence.
Okay, let's create this index also, and let's see.
It's a clustered index.
No, this is not clustered. I am not specified clustered keyword here. Okay, let's copy this query. I think it is here only, right? So I have one more query. So let's see which one will it make use of. So it is making use of our query, ix last name include first name middle. This one it is using. So I will do one thing. I will disable these two indexes and let's check whether it will use that new index, what you have created. So I have to disable it, right? Disable, and then I have to disable this also. Is it boring or interesting? Can you pass on your comments?
No, it is interesting. Actually, we don't know the answers. That's why we are going.
It's very interesting.
Thank you. So let's disable both of them and now check this query. Will it make use of our new index, what we have created? Okay, now I ran that query and it is using our index. because I can see index employee covers all 4 calls IX in our object. Okay, and what about the logical reads? It's 251, just one extra page. That's it, right? So it is still the same.
Yes.
So I wanted to show you the difference, but unfortunately I didn't get that. Let me try now, guys. 1 second. I wanted to show that covering index and the difference between them. Why I didn't get that? I'll check now. This is a final attempt, guys. Just give me 1 second. Indexes, sorry. So let's take, for example, 5 and 8 again, or 4 and 8. I will take 4 and 8. 4. There will be difference for sure. The index on employees. Okay, I disabled it. If I disable, then it will not show up. Okay, now just keep this aside and let's go with 8 this time. I have to rebuild that also, right? This index is this one. I don't need to rebuild. I think 8 is this one. Okay, let's go. Yes, now I got the difference. Now I can talk about this. Can you see the difference of the output here? This is what internals, guys. This is all internals. I'm not talking something stupid here. Try to focus and I will try to make you understand as well. Can you see the difference of the lengths? This is leaf level page. This is intermediate page. This is root page. Level 0 is leaf level. Level 1 is intermediate. Level 2 is root page. Okay, same thing down at the bottom. I have passed the index number 4. Index number 4 is included stuff, and index number 8 is this one, the index what I've created. Like, where is that? This index. Okay, without any included stuff. Can you see the difference? This is what I told theoretically, but now I can show you practically. Can you see the differences now?
Okay, extra page is required.
Why
on
I
that
got
intermediate.
why I got extra lengths for intermediate and root level pages? Here it was 71, whereas here it is 148. You know why? I will tell you why I got 148. Let's check that. What is the index here? Last name, first name, middle initial,
Included
and
submit.
phone. Okay, first name, middle initial, and phone. Let's check the length of our table. SP help employee. Let's grab the lengths of them. What is that? What I included? First name 58. What is that? The other one? First name, middle initial, and phone number. 58, 2, phone number. Phone number is 14. 58, 2, and 14. Let's keep this aside. 58, 2, and 14. And the last name. Last name is 60. Okay, so 58 plus 2, 60, 60 plus 14, 74, 74. So what is the difference between 148 and 71, guys? Who is good at maths? I'm not.
77.
77.
148 minus 71, right? 77. Okay. So what is the difference of 77? Why I'm getting the difference of 77? You'll come to know. Sorry, my screen. So this first name is of length 58. Okay, 58, and middle initial is of length 2, 60, and the last name, last column is phone number is of length 14. So it is 74. 74. So those extra 74 bytes, like the 3 columns, is not popping up into our intermediate and root level pages for my included stuff. Whereas when I just create the normal index, this information is there at my intermediate page as well as at the root level pages. That is why the difference of exactly. I cannot show you exactly, but we can still match up 74 and 77, almost there. Maybe a matter of the extra 3 bits. It's because of 3 bytes is because of the extra numbers, row slot array or something else. There are few things that comes naturally. So that is the difference, guys. Are you getting? I'm showing you a lot, but I don't know whether you're receiving it or not.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when someone asks you what is the difference between included columns and the covering indexes, this is what I am expecting. This is the kind of answer that I would expect from the candidates. If someone says like this, then I can definitely say that guy is good at internals. These are all internals. So when you are recommending an index, keep in your mind that included columns is of little less in size because of this point. Okay, the included columns size would be little less when compared to this type of index, like what you are seeing now.
So we then include or covering?
Definitely, I will say include is my preference. Okay, included will be my preference for most of the queries, but there are cases where covering would be better than include. We'll talk about that later, because if I show you everything at one glance, it is difficult for you to understand. That's why. But my preference 80% or 90%, it will go with included columns.
Yeah, Vamsi, like I have one doubt here. Like, if we create a both index, then it will create a performance issue as well, right? Like, like the misleading index or something.
If you create both indexes, it will make use of one index. Which index it makes use is depends upon the queries what you are writing. Okay. But definitely both the indexes should not be there. So it's like a duplication what we are doing. So at the last part, I will try to show index consolidation, and there you'll come to know. Did you get the difference, guys? Now non-clustered, sorry, covering index and included columns.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So again, don't say seek is best, scan is best. All these things should be avoided, guys. At least now, coming after watching my videos, you should know the difference now. And if you appear for interviews, try to give different answers. Don't give that again the same repetitive answers. Try to avoid that. And let's move on and let's talk about filter index. I'll get some water. Is that okay? I'm feeling thirsty.
Sir, I have one question. If in a query we have group by clause also, so how to design index in that case?
Let's move on. And for the Mahesh, I think he has the one who has created the filtering index. And I wanted to ask one question for Mahesh. Let's keep this aside. Mahesh, what is your total experience?
I have 10 years of experience, I would say.
Then you are almost matching up with me. I mean, I'm just slightly ahead of you, but still 10 years is a good amount. Let's do one filter index and see how it looks. What is filter index? So I told you, right? So if you want a criteria, like something like, for example, here I have status. So I'll show you that field. I'll take this one. Can I remove this? I'll keep this aside. Okay. So I have a status column here. If I see select star from employee, select star from employee, I have something called as status here. So I have different kinds of status. I have 9 different fields. Okay. So status number 1, I have mostly most of the rows are appearing from status number 1. 1 second, guys. 36,581 are the number of rows out of 80,000. And status number 9 is a least used status, and I have 2,662 rows out of 80,000. So if I wanted to create an index, a filter index, so filter index is something like I wanted to filter on something. Like, for example, I'm writing queries like status equal to 1, status equal to 9, something like this. So if that is the case, I can create filtered on that particular criteria, and so that I can avoid the bigger indexes, and I will get the small index, subset of an index. Again, non-cluster index is a subset of cluster index, and inside the non-cluster index, if I want a subset, then I can think about filter indexes. Okay. So let's try to create one filter index. For example, I am trying to create a filter index on status 9. Okay, status 9. First, we'll try to create, we'll check the query first and let's see what will be the output. Let's go to this page. I think I have everything here, or this page. I'll remove this. So what will be the execution plan for this? Let me drop all the indexes. 1 second. 4, 5, 8. Should have drop index. The one what I'm going to show you is one of the craziest thing. So please focus on this, guys. And if you ever get a performance issue, it is almost impossible for the DBA to identify that issue. I'm saying almost. Okay, wait for it. Okay, everything is dropped. And this is the query. Employee ID, state, city, phone from employee where status equal to 9. Okay, what will be the output of this? Oh, everyone left, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me the execution plan. Clustered index scan. And it went for parallelism. Forget about parallelism. So it went for index scan. So on what index it is? Okay, we have one more index. Looks like I didn't drop that. Employee PK. Okay. So it is, I have to, I dropped everything, right? So let me check SP help index. Yeah. So from where I'm getting this index then? Index scan, it is saying employee case, that index what we discussed. Did I disable them? Let me check the indexes that are disabled. I think there is one column, right? Is disabled. Yeah. No, nothing is there. And from where it is fetching that index? DBCC free procache. Let's check this again. Now we are back. Somehow it kept inside the cache and it was showing that index. And now since we wiped it out, it went away. So it is cluster index scan. So now I'm going to create one index, filter index, and I will talk about that now. For example, I'm going to create on status 9. Status 9. I'll create here. Include comment out, uncomment. Okay. Did I miss anything? Anything? Create index name on table name. Okay, I have not written the leading column or what? Where is status here? Status. So let's create this index. Okay. And now will the new index, the filter index on status 9, will it make use of my query here? I mean, will the query make use of my new index, whatever what I've created? Let's check that. And yes, it is using, because I can see under the object, it is using uncovered, covering unfiltered index, right? You can see that. Guys, please do respond. This is very important.
Yes,
Yes,
Yeah,
Vamsi.
I am just stopping the screen share for a second, and I'm going to do one very small thing, and I will not tell you that. And after that change, it will never make use of that index, never. Okay, so I'm just stopping that screen share. If you guys can tell me what that is, again, I'm promising you will be one of the best in the industry. I can say that. It's very difficult to imagine what I'm doing. Screen share back. Okay, back, guys. Now it is not using that index. First of all, it is going with cluster index scan, as you can see. And I have that index. I didn't drop any index, just to show you. So I have that index with me. I didn't disable also. You can see that. Okay, I didn't change any compatibility levels or something like that. Okay, it's still the same. I didn't change anything. If you want, I can show the log. But why it is not making use of our filtered index? Just to show you that I didn't change any compatibility level. Nothing is there. Okay, I didn't have the such information. And even if you want, I can show you that compatibility level. Any other guess? If you can guess this, I can definitely say you are one of the best. Why it is not making use of our filter index? Mahesh has created this index. Mahesh, can you tell me? I don't know if you are there.
Yeah, Vamsi, I'm here.
Yeah.
Can you show me the index? Like, just want to see that.
Yeah, this is the index.
Okay.
All of a sudden, I did one change. Okay, I'm saying you, I did one change. That one change is very, that you cannot imagine that change, what I've done. Okay, it's very difficult to imagine also. I'm saying you that. Can you guess the change what I made? And can you tell me why it is preventing me to make use of that index because of that change, what I made? Because this is the internal of filter indexes. I can bet many in the industry, the best in the industry can't say this answer that easily. It's not that straightforward.
Okay.
If anyone wants to guess, please give a shot, give a try.
Have you dropped any columns or?
No, I didn't drop any column. I didn't make any changes. I didn't drop any such thing. Okay, I'm just
Do you
letting
change
you
the
know. Yeah.
value, like, the instead of, status 9,
No, it's still the same. I didn't change the definition of it. If you check the definition, I can show you the definition also. Indexes, tables, employee study, employee indexes, it's still the same. Covering index. If you want, I can script this. It's the same index what I've created. I'm telling you, it's almost impossible to guess that. So still the same.
Can we rebuild the index?
Select query.
Have you clicked on any
We run the
post
select
plan?
query with status is equal to 9.
Yes, sir, that is what I'm doing with status equal to 9. I'm running that same thing with status equal to 9. It's going for cluster index.
Can we rebuild it?
Rebuild, yes, I will do that. Alter index, index name. What is that index name? This one, right? Control C. Where is that command of here? Okay, alter in A. I'll pass here. Alter index name on table name. Rebuild. Okay, it's done. Okay, something I'm getting. But I have not made any like it's not in disabled state, as you can see here. Right? It's not in disabled state, so you can ignore that point.
Can we do with recompile once?
Okay. Yeah, we can think about it. Option recompile or with recompile? Which one? Option recompile. Go. Okay, still the same.
Okay, cluster index scan. Okay. Have you clicked on any force plan?
No, I am not doing. I am okay. I accept your answers, but I have not done that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very hard. I will just wait for another maybe 10 seconds and let me know if you are aware. Again, these are all the internals of filter indexes. I've done something.
Is there
Have you
any
inserted
changes made
some
on
amount of
where
data?
condition?
I will go one by one. Alok, you can go first.
Yeah, is there any changes made on that variable changes on where condition?
Query level changes. What does it mean?
Where condition?
No. I didn't. No. I didn't make. It's the same query.
Okay, that also not work. I saw your
Any other guess?
That's what I.
I will go with
Data
Santosh.
deletion?
No, I didn't
Data
delete.
deletion?
No, I didn't delete anything. It's still 80,000 rows. Let me show you that part. Space used 80,000. Still the same. Any other guess? I told you it's almost impossible. You need too much of internals to guess this. Okay, let me reveal this.
Parameter sniffing, like
we are giving the same status 9. So there is no chance for parameter sniffing, and parameter sniffing, this is an ad hoc query. So there is no concept of parameter sniffing here. There is no, I have not made any changes to literals. So no parameter sniffing here. How many of you are good at understanding ad hoc? Next topic is that one only. Okay, tell me. Okay, I think it's hard to guess. Okay, I'm doing in front of you now. So I'm doing just small stuff. So I'm setting ANSI nulls on. Okay, so I'm writing this and I'm running the query again. And as you can see, I got my index seek back from cluster index scan. Okay, so now you tell me why this small setting played such a important role. Why did it change the plan altogether? I revealed the answer. Now it is up to you to guess.
It's about considering null values on the.
Not really. Not really. Even I lost the screen. Just wait for it. Any guess? I've shown you the answer, right? So you should be able to tell me why this small change had made such a huge difference. If I will show you in front of you, if I turn this off, okay, I'm turning this off and I'm running this query, it will be back to cluster index scan. And if I make this
if
on,
we are setting this,
yeah,
if we are setting this null value off, then it will be a data against to the null value equivalent to 2. That is possible.
You. So okay, I will do one thing for you. I will do one more thing. So people are thinking that I have some nulls or something. So I am making one more change. Okay, so I'm saying ANSI warning off. Okay, ANSI warnings or ANSI warnings. Okay. So now and see the output again. It went for an index scan from index seek. If I turn this on, it will be back to index seek. One more clue I'm giving it. Okay, so as you can see in front of you, how the execution plan is getting changed with one small stuff. Can you imagine from DBA standpoint that you would be able to identify this? Definitely think that this is a very important query and it's a very big table. Of course, my table is very small, but in a real-time situation where the query is very important for the business and someone has made this change, and as a DBA, can you figure this out? Will it be possible? All of a sudden, index seek has gone to index scan, cluster index scan. So definitely there will be performance impact. And the number of reads will go from here in the small table itself. It has gone from 17 to 4009. So when I turn this off from 17 to 4009 means almost I don't know how many times it is. So if this happens in real time, what about as a our situation as a DBA? How to find out this first of all? Sounding bad or way too bad or okay? I don't know. Just to let you know, guys, this is the fundamentals. Okay. All these settings, okay, all these settings are there even for our SSMS also. I think it will be there. Query options, ANSI nulls. I can find them somewhere. General, no. Tree SQL. Let me check general. You will find this somewhere, guys. I don't know where it is. Can you tell me where is that? All these
I think
settings.
query execution or results.
Let me check that part.
Query
Definitely it is there, but I don't know where it is. General.
ANSI, the ANSI
Yeah.
third one.
ANSI. Yes. So these are the settings, guys. Okay. If you make any changes to this settings, like what I did, ANSI nulls off or ANSI warnings, like all this stuff over here, ported identifier, ANSI panning, add the arithmetic about. If I make any changes to this, then your filter indexes will not work. Even though it is there, it will not work. That is very, very, very important when you are playing with filter indexes. And if someone changes that, and also this is at session level, guys. So for different session, for example, I'll show you. So I turn this off right now. I am getting index scan, as you can see. Let me grab this query and I will take to different session. Okay, different session. This is different session altogether, and I will turn on the execution plan and check this. It's going with index seek. It's working fine. For this guy, I don't know why I'm. 1 second. So for 74 session, this guy is index seek, right? But for the same query, no changes whatsoever in this session. Like what is the session number 51? This guy is getting index scan. So just imagine how difficult it is for a DBA to troubleshoot this kind of scenario.
So when you turn off the ANSI codes,
Yeah.
it stops following the ISO standards of ANSI. So the like operators will stop following the ISO standards of ANSI. ANSI is an institute standard.
Yeah. I understood. Yeah. But I'm telling you again, any such change will not allow us to make use of filter indexes. And also, okay, even at the table and index creation, if you have made any changes, you cannot even create filter indexes also. Okay, so even at the table creation or index creation, if you make any changes to your session level, then you cannot even create filter indexes. And if you create filter indexes and thereafter if you make any changes to these settings at session level, then also our filter index will not be used. SQL Server will not consider that filter index. It will not make use of that. This is too much of internal, I know, but this is how SQL Server has been designed. You have to understand this.
Yeah, this is good. This was good.
And now if I don't know if you have the patience. If you have the patience, then if I show you one more stuff with this, your mind will be gone for sure. Are you okay, or can I exit? It's your choice.
Sure. Yeah, we are okay with that.
Because I'm going bit more deep dive now. So if you're okay, I will do that.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, please, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Vamsi.
I'll show you now. Let's see how it works for you. Let's do one thing. Let's keep this query aside. I'll grab two of them. Any questions, guys, before I move on? For the one last time I'm asking. Are you feeling comfortable, or I'm making you I mean,
we are comfortable anyway here.
Okay, so my strategy is, guys, I'll show you. I didn't even open this one. Okay. So what we are learning, this is about my indexing stuff, right? We are observing the queries and we are suggesting the indexes, right? That is what we are doing. Okay. So my plan is, I wanted to show you what I am thinking for my classes. Just a second, I will not take much time. We know we have Azure SQL and we have databases as part of it. So if I talk Azure SQL, what is there to talk, guys? Let me be frank. So if I want to talk about Azure SQL, I can talk about alerts, maybe monitoring, it's okay. I can talk about this left-hand side, like data masking, TDE, most of the things you are aware. So if I wanted to show you, I can show about sync to other databases, maybe some other stuff, right? That's it, game over. Because most of the things are being managed by Microsoft. There is nothing to talk on Azure SQL if I wanted to, right? So my plan is to introduce these kind of performance tuning stuff. And I wanted to see these four metrics, what you are seeing, are they good enough to come up with the right indexes for these kind of scenarios? I wanted to test this. So the artificial intelligence behind this stuff, I know this is nothing but artificial intelligence. They are analyzing our workload and they are coming up with indexes, right? Just like DTA. So I wanted to see whether these insights or index recommendation or automatic tuning, are they suggesting the right indexes or not? I wanted to check that part. That is why I am coming up with this performance tuning stuff. So there is nothing to talk in Azure SQL. There are only maybe 10 things. So once we are done with 10 things, there is nothing to discuss. So the main focus for as a DBA in Azure SQL is this part, obviously, right? Agreed or not? We are not doing backups. We are not doing any restores. We are not doing configuring any high availability. What is there as a DBA to work on Azure SQL then? Only about this part. If you know about this part, of course, monitoring, I agree. I'm not denying monitoring. This part is vital for us. So if we can concentrate on this part, then I wanted to check whether these index suggestions that are coming from this automatic tuning or insights or recommendations, are they good enough? Are they really thinking like us? That is what I wanted to check. So that is the reason I'm showing first these demos, and later I will gather these databases. I will move these databases, migrate these databases to Azure SQL, and I want to see, I wanted to reproduce some scenarios and check whether they are really suggesting the right indexes. And I wanted to play with them. Let's do that. Let's move on. This is different. Okay, there is one more. If I want, I can talk about this, but I'm just thinking. Heard about something called as interval subsumption. I know I'm sounding crazy. I will write it down. In filter indexes, this one. Anyone heard about this term at least?
No.
No, right? Okay, I will leave this. It will be too hard to show all these things at one shot. Now let's play with some queries and let's check that part. Let's first, I will take this 3. Let me drop the query indexes first. Any bad indexes? I have only one, so I'll drop this. I'm running pre-proc cache, guys, just to ensure that indexes are cleared from the cache. Sometimes it is taking time. That's the reason. So imagine I have states now. Select star from employee. Where is that? Select star from employee. I have a state column. I mean city. State. Virginia. Los Angeles. Something like that. I have different states, right? So I wanted to create a filter index on states. Okay, that is our next criteria. Okay, so I am creating a filter index on Alaska, I don't know, origin, I don't know about the names. So I'm creating on this fields, this states. Okay, so let's check that stuff and see how it works. So I've created the index and I'm checking the execution plan for that. I'll pull these queries. So Alaska is part of it, AK is part of it. So do you think it will make use of our index? Oh, did I turn it off? Which one I made the change? 1 second. I think it's ANSI warnings, right? I have to turn that on, otherwise it will not work. Set ANSI warnings on. Okay, now it should work. So I'm getting, my index is getting used here. It's fine. How about WA? WA, what does it mean? West, I don't know the states of US. It is working fine again. Michigan, I think it's Michigan, it's not there. So it has to go for cluster index scan, as you can see, right? Got these 3 queries first before talking about the rest. Why I got index seek for AK and WA and why not for MI?
Filter index created for the subset AK and WA.
WA, but not on MI. As you can see, AK, WA is part of it, and I have something called as OR and CA, but not on MI. So definitely it has to go with cluster index scan since I don't have the predicate on that condition. Okay, so now, so I'm going to create a procedure, guys. Procedure like this, create procedure. I'm passing the state as the parameter, and I'm going to execute these the 3 things, and let's check the execution plan for that, and let's see how it looks. I'm going to create this one procedure. Okay, so procedure is taking state as the parameter and it is passing that information to the select class. That's it, because usually in real time it will not be ad hoc queries. It definitely it will be procedures. Now we'll have that concept of parameter sniffing. Okay, parameter sniffing comes into picture when you're having variables or when you're having parameters to a stored procedure, not for the ad hoc queries. Someone said parameter sniffing, so I just wanted to correct him. Okay, now let's take this, and I am running that store procedure and I got the result. Okay, all of a sudden my index scene has gone and it got changed to cluster index scan. See, for everything I got cluster index scan. What is that? Why it went from seek to scan now?
In that procedure also we have to make the ANSI settings, or
No, in procedure I have the default settings, so you can ignore that ANSI stuff. Why? Our procedure is not making use of our filter indexes. For all the DBS, I'm the
Because it's
developer.
not passed as the value, actually, it's passed as the parameter on the stored procedure. So while like when it is creating execution plan, it will create with the variables, not with the real values.
Okay, so what should I do now? I'm a developer. I don't know about that stuff, right? I have just written something like this and I'm saying my performance is low, and you came into picture as a DBA and you ran that procedure and you came to know that cluster index scan is happening, not the index seek what we are looking at least for this AK and WA. And now you tell me what should I do? The suggestion from DBA. I'm expecting the suggestion from you guys. You are the DBAs. This is my store procedure. Should I make any changes to my store procedure? If so, what is that?
recompile.
Okay, recompile. Where should I add recompile? Or you want me to run this one with recompile? Procedure with recompile. with recompile. Okay. First we'll run for one query and see whether we are getting seek or scan. And no, unfortunately, it's not working with recompile.
I think we need to add it in the procedure actually, procedure itself, not to the execution statement.
Okay, where should I add?
I think, like after our variable.
After our variable here.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to write something like this with recompile. Will it take there? See?
No. I think after the bracket.
After as third line.
After as, okay. With recompile, is that right?
No, actually it should come before S.
Okay, control X. So here you want me to do.
Just
okay.
Execute this.
Yeah, so I'm doing this. Sorry, I had it. Yeah, I will amend that. Okay, and let's run this. Okay, and let's check
now.
Can
run this one. Yes.
AK, and let's check this. No, it's not working again.
Can you do the pre-proc catch?
Okay, free proc cache I will do. Again, no.
I think for store procedure, the plans are getting stored in this one, the cache.
So we wiped off the entire cache now, right? So we can ignore parameter sniffing problem because we are doing it for the first time, executing it for the first time. And also we have added the recompile class to the store procedure, but still it is not working, right? So you can ignore that parameter sniffing problem if you are doing with recompile also. And also I wiped off the plan cache itself.
What if we force the index in the query?
What if I force the index? I can force, but without forcing the index, can you tell me what is the ideal way to overcome this problem? Why it is not using? That is what we can force. Force is the next last option.
Usually, Vamsi, like we have to think like it is not like the index is not properly arranged. So we have to alter the index, but I'm just seeing like how we can alter it.
Not really. It's a proper index, but somehow my store procedure is not getting that. So filter indexes is yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, previously we are talking about the tan signal on off, right? So
no such settings. So you can ignore it completely. Okay, as I said,
we need to check at the database level, like the parameter snipping option is on or off, something like that.
Parameter stuffing. Okay, that's a good point. Let me check that part. Options, parameter sniffing. If you take here, parameter sniffing is on only by default. I mean, these are default settings. I didn't make any changes to these settings. But very good point. Rebuilding the index, because we wiped off the cache itself. So rebuilding the index, I don't think it will help, but still I will go with your option. Let me grab the index name. This one and rebuild that. Rebuild. Okay, rebuild. I'm doing it. So I have a question, guys. So I told you the problem, and I told you for a DBA it will be difficult to identify, but none of you raised a question like how to find out that problem, right?
Vamsi, like, can you go to the procedure and add the option recompiler after
we
the
did,
parameter?
right? With recompile, it's there already.
No, that is for the values we given, right? Not for the selectivity.
So you want me to remove this?
Yeah, remove this.
Okay.
And like after the var class.
Okay.
Put an option. Yeah, recompile. Check this.
Okay. Before doing this, I just wanted to try. Swapnil has said we can force that index. So I will try to do that as well, just to show you. With index, what is that index name? If I go to my corner, I will get this problem with index name. And I will remove this for a second. Any, what is the index? Expecting one. Okay, I have written, I've given 2 here. The index name. Let me check. Incorrect index near. Oh, sorry. From table name with index. This is the right statement, right? Are we making any mistake? Select star from table name with index. With index. What is the problem here?
I think we need to put in brackets.
Brackets. Yes, I'm missing bracket. One more bracket here. I will remove this. Okay, and I'm modifying this store procedure. Done. So I'm forcing the index also, and let's check that part. Says you cannot force this. Okay, when we have filter indexes. One more problem, guys. I don't know if you are aware of this. Query processor, if you force the index for filter index scan, it will throw this error. Okay, this is one more problem that you should be aware of. And finally, I have to go with option recompile. So I'm removing this. Option recompile. The brackets. Okay, I've done this right. Okay. Now let's check that part. And finally, we are back. Okay, so if you are doing this, okay, if you are doing this for a procedure with parameters, so our index seek will happen only if you do option recompile at statement level, not at the procedure level. Okay, there are three types. I've shown you 3 types. One is execute the stored procedure with recompile. It didn't work for us. Second time we have created with recompile at procedure level. I mean at the statement level. Sorry, at the beginning of the procedure, it didn't work. And again, we forced the index. It didn't work at all. And finally, we have written option recompile at statement level. So it worked for us. So let me check the other state as well. So it has to go with index seek. What if I run only mi? So I'm getting cluster index scan. So I'm getting proper output. Why? Because we are using statement level recompile, means there will be no problem of parameter sniffing at all. It will not sniff because we are using recompile. So I'll get proper execution plans for all 3: index seek, index kick, and index scan. Got the point? How to overcome this?
Yes,
Okay. And how about if I do, like if I introduce the variables and if I pass that variable, then will that work? Like this is the store procedure, right? So what if I do something like this? So same statement, I will get that variable, and now I'll get the parameter, and I'm passing that parameter to a variable. Now I've created one more variable and I'm passing that. Let's check this now and let's see what happens. Let's check for all 3. And unfortunately, all 3 went for cluster index scan. Okay, so these are the things that happens in real time, guys. So developers will get the parameter and they will get that parameter into a variable, and they will pass that variable to the predicate class. So please be aware that if you are doing something like this, I mean, not you, if the developers are doing that, something like this, there will be huge number of changes. Okay, with declaring the variables, we have so many things that we have to keep in our mind. If time permits, I will talk about this in different session. It will be so much. There are so many things to discuss on that topic. So I'll say option recompile again. I think we are okay. Let's run this again. And we are back to normal state. Okay. So option recompile is helping us to overcome this problem. I took I planned 1.5 hours, but it went for 2 hours. I didn't even show the index consolidation. I will show in some other class. Maybe tomorrow in our regular classes, I'll show you guys. So this is how it looks, guys. Indexing stuff. So I hope you learned something new.
Yes, Vamsi.
Any questions, guys? Now, if I ask questions, will you be able to answer them? I raised one question, right? How will you, as a DBA, will find out if there are any changes to the ANSI settings from their session, because it is at session level, not at database level. It is a session level. So if I make any changes to my session, even if the application from application end, they will have the similar settings. And if they make any changes, it will not work again. So as a DBA, how will you find out that? Right? So I will reveal the answer tomorrow for that. But we can find out. It's not a big deal. We can find that part. And this is how troubleshooting works. Just for single table itself, we are having these many contradictions. And if I join the tables and if I introduce parallelism, just imagine how difficult it is to move forward with indexing. That's why it said indexing is an art and science. Questions, or can I wind off?
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
Suppose if we have one query where we have like where clause also as well as group by clause. Okay. So for the group by columns, where should we put that column? Whether it should be on
Very
like
good question.
include column in the
Yeah, I
index
got you.
or
I got you. So I strongly recommend you, strongly, I don't know, I cannot stress this importance of this guy. He's the one who made me to understand these topics very clearly. I'm recommending this guy. Okay. Its name is Idzik Bengan. Okay. This guy has written so many articles on indexing and query tuning stuff. If you follow up this guy, I don't know, the kind of improvement what you will get is beyond your imagination, guys. Okay, this guy is the best on the earth, I can say, when it comes to T-SQL. This is the best guy I've ever seen. Okay, I strongly follow this guy from my career. Like once I came to know about this guy, I started following him and I learned a lot from him. Okay, so your question is best answered by this guy. I can answer that, but this guy has given so many practical examples for that. So that's the reason I'm recommending you to follow this guy rather than me answering that question. Strongly, I cannot say. He's given so many books, and I just love this guy like anything.
it's this book is available online, right?
Few books are available online. So for me, it is showing in Amazon. So I think few books are available. So this guy, T-SQL fundamentals, T-SQL querying, T-SQL Windows functions, everything. I think Swapnil is a developer. Probably he knows about this guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, Swapnil. I don't know if you are there. Any developer will definitely know about this guy, if I am feeling that, at least.
Sorry, can you come again also?
You heard about this guy, Idzik Bengan?
Yes.
Yeah, so developers do know about this guy, but for the DBAs, I strongly recommend following this guy. If you want to be a good performance tuning DBA, definitely you should know T-SQL. Without knowing T-SQL, it's not possible to fine tune the queries. So we are just talking about indexes now. In the upcoming classes, when we go to query tuning, I'll show you a few query tunings as well. So in that case, I need to tune the queries, guys. So if that is the case, definitely you should know how to write a query, right? Without having knowledge on T-SQL, it's not possible. So that's it, guys. So I wanted to, as I said, this is my main focus. I will grab these databases from here to here, and I'll see whether they are giving good suggestions or not. My Azure SQL is purely related to performance tuning. That's what I can say. Okay.
It's the first time I'm joining the meeting, so we'll be having this training regularly or how it is?
Yeah, it is regular from Monday to Friday. Actually, the timings will be 9 p.m. Indian time.
Okay.
9 to 10:30. That is the only time that I can afford because my office is from 9 to 5. So it will be 4:30 for me. Your 9 is 4:30 for me.
Okay, fine. Just wanted to know. So we'll be having on a regular basis, right?
Yes, regular basis. I don't want to leave this. So usually, I know, like when we talk about Azure SQL, there is nothing much to talk. Frankly speaking, I can talk about the rest of the topics in 4 or 5 classes. I can quickly finish that off, but I don't want to do that. That's the reason I'm pulling up performance tuning so that it will help others. And I know there are so many people who lacks the basics of indexes as well. So that's why I wanted to cover that gap, the gap what you are having. Okay, so if no questions, then I'll wind off.
Okay.
I'll catch you tomorrow, guys.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
Vamsi, one
Thank
question
you so much,
before.
Vamsi.
Yeah, Anto, go ahead.
Okay, well, yeah. So I've been asked this question by an interviewer. So it's a hypothetical question. I have a high performance Oracle database running on-prem.
Okay.
And I want to migrate into Azure. Azure platform, and so you need to decide which database, or whether it's Azure MI, Azure SQL, and all these factors. So seeing that it's a high performance Oracle database, which one would you choose, and what pre-steps will you check whether the same performance will still hold good after migration?
1 second. Let me pull out that guy's name. Neelab Jabal. Neelab Jabal, Oracle migration Azure. See, few things we have to follow someone. Otherwise, you will not be able to give the best. So I recommend this guy, Neelab Jabal. So he has one article on Oracle to Azure migration, and he has given this one, how to accelerate Oracle to Azure database migration. So you have to watch this guy's post, and then you will come to know what needs to be done. So I didn't work on Oracle, so I cannot give you the best answer. But if you want the best, you have to follow this guy.
Like before doing the migration, how will we check whether
he has given the entire
performance?
steps. He has given the steps. So he has explained clearly what needs to be done, like the right choosing of the right hardware or right SQLs, or whether it is Azure SQL or Azure VM or Azure MI. They have discussed this inside this video. And this guy has written an article. So you have to check this with this guy only. He is the best.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I will paste this for you in case if you want.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, I'll sign off. I'll catch you tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll talk about the next phase of PD.
Vamsi, before can you send me that the last 2 sessions recordings link or URL or something? I missed your last 2 sessions actually.
I didn't upload anywhere, bro. So I'm just keeping it only with my training. So I'm not coming up with huge cost. If you are interested, it is just 5,000. I'm just revealing the cost also.
Okay.
Okay, but it will be entirely on PT. Minimal on Azure SQL, most on PT. That is what I'm aiming at.
Okay, no issues. Okay, fine. No
Thank you all.
Vamsi, I have something actually. So I know that all the classes need to be attended for that query tuning in terms of the performance issue, and for the mainly Azure SQL. So are you doing it for regular basis? I know that you mentioned that 9 p.m. Indian time. So we have that classes on regular basis Monday to Friday. Is it possible to do that? Because we have that some client meeting and all that, and around 8:30 or 9 o'clock we have that.
Unfortunately,
So that's why
no, bro.
actually,
I don't have any other time.
Any other time, or if you can do it on the weekly thrice or twice, that will be helpful. Monday or Wednesday. Because I know if we are missing some classes, then it will be a very difficult to catch up.
Yeah,
Very
I
difficult
can
to
feel
get
your
back.
pain, but I don't have an answer for that. Because if I wanted,
Yeah.
if I am just taking 1 or 2 days in 1 week, so I will not be able to complete my classes. Even if you watch, I know you are watching me closely. I started this on May 23rd, and now it is October 23rd, almost like 1 week short of October 23rd. Still, I am driving the classes.
Right.
So I'm imagine, like I wanted to provide all the information what I have with me. So that's why my training will be will take more time. I wanted to give all that contents what I can think of, and I wanted to give the best also. So it will take time, and that's the reason I'm taking on daily basis.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
I'm sorry if I don't have other time. That's the reason. Okay.
Yeah, I understood.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks
Okay.
all for your time. Yeah. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.